Hey YouTube, Jeremy right here, and I'm about to calibrate a pH pen, pH meter. This is my new backlit Vivo Sun. Uh, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So I have already set, this is a replacement for this guy, which was my non-brand name. This is now my brand name, but you can see they're like almost identical, look like they were made by the same people, came out of the same factory, fell out of the same mold, whatever. So I've already set some of these. Let me turn this off for just a moment. I have already set these and identified them. They're supposed to be done at 25 degrees centigrade, which is roughly 77 degrees Fahrenheit from the Fahrenmeter. 6.86, 9.18, and 4.0. So if you calibrate this only using the 6.86, you get an accuracy to a 0.1. So like a tenth of a point for the logarithmic pH scale. If you go for all three of these, you get to the 100th place, so a 0.01. So we're going to try this out. This has historically been kind of challenging for people, so let's see what happens. First off, we turn it back to on. We're on. Now, we stick it down in this thing, and we're going to hold, I'm going to hold the calibrate button for 5 seconds. And then we're going to see this thing start climbing around. It should flash. Bingo. Now we've got it calibrated for 6.86. Now, to calibrate it again, we're going to go, what's the next one? I think 4.0 is next. So I'm going to go back over to this one, hold it down again for 5 seconds until we start seeing the reading go all over the place. For whatever reason, it's not playing with me. It's not playing well. There we go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We should see it flash. If not, I'm going to have to start over. Okay, starting over. Holding it down for 5 seconds. This is the calibrate button. Cool. Now, for this one, the middle. Holding it down again for 5 seconds. Click, click, click. And we should see it flash. We have now calibrated it for 3 different pHs, and it knows. So while we're doing this, let's jump back over and just do a test and see how close this one is to 6.86. I mean, could be closer, right? Could be closer. If I watch this for a moment, it should creep right on up to the 6.86 mark. And we'll see if it's accurate or not. And when you're getting a pH read, it usually takes a while. Like it usually takes me, okay, we got to like 6.84 and then it flashed and did something. And I was like, nah, I think it's 6.74. So clearly not the most accurate tools in the woodshed. So take these with a grain of salt. We could try calibrating again, but you know, honestly, if it's within like a point, or sorry, a tenth of a point, I'm pretty good with that. But that's the calibration procedure. And it's basically been the same for these type tools for the last decade. I would recommend calibrating them, even though readings may vary, but that's how you do it. And again, the way I did it, first I turned it on. Then I held the calibrate button for 5 seconds. 6.86 flashed and I let go. Then The reading flashed 3 times. That's how I knew it was calibrated. I pulled it out. Then I went to the 4.0 solution. Again, with it turned on, I held the calibrate button for 5 seconds, and it started doing the searching thing. Thought I was trying to do 6.86, so I pushed calibrate one more time, and it recognized that I'm trying to calibrate for 4.0. It searched around for a little bit, then flashed. That's how I know the 4.0 was calibrated. Pulled out, went back over to the what should have been the third solution, the 9.18, and held the calibrate button for 5 seconds. Started doing the calibrate mode thing. First it said 6.86, I pressed calibrate. Then it went to 4.0, I pressed calibrate again, it said 9.18. Then I let go and allowed it some time to do a steady read. Then it gave me the 9.18 or whatever it actually said, and flashed 3 times. That's how I know I've calibrated it for this, and this solution. So bam. Not actually the easiest thing. I've heard people complaining about these type devices for years, and I guess I just didn't think it was that big of a deal the first time I calibrated one, so I didn't make a video or anything. But now that my little girl took this one and it went, it turned into a yellow submarine rather than a pH meter, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work the same after that. So I had to buy another one. Hopefully this won't be a yellow submarine. And it's now calibrated. So, all right, let's go see what we can find. I'm not trying to read those, but I do want to read in here. I want to see what the pH is on this tank. This is what I was doing when I remembered I didn't have a functioning pH meter yet and I needed to go calibrate. So I'm expecting this one's going to go into like the 7.5 range, just where I think it should be. The last reading I took on this, it was at 7.48. So let's see what it reads, because that's going to be the the litmus test, so to speak. Ha 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 ha, pH joke. Let's see where it gets to. It's looking pretty good so far. So we're off by 0.03, 0.04, 0.05. Creeping a little bit. Apparently the backlighting goes off on this after just a little bit. It's currently reading 7.57. So maybe my other meter was a little bit off. Maybe this one's off. In reality, they're probably both off just a little bit. Kind of like the gauges in your car on the dash. If the voltmeter says 14.1, it's ballparking it. If the oil pressure gauge says 63, it's ballparking it. The speedo, guess what? It's not accurate either. It's just, showing you something that's in the range. All auto manufacturers overestimate the speedometer, just so you guys know. I'm aware we're talking about something totally different, but we are talking about electronic instruments and how they read. So 7.65, meh, I'm okay with that. See how it's kind of fluctuating back and forth between 7.65 and 7.64? Oh, yeah, I guess it's kind of locked in there now. 7.65, cool. I believe that. I believe that a little more than I believed my last one. You see that fluctuation? That's sort of how you know that it's honing in. It's like, yep, it's somewhere right around 7.65, 7.66, and I don't know how to get any closer. So that's where it leaves you. Notice also it's got 2 decimal places after the 7. That means it's estimating the last one. Just being real, it's estimating the last one. 7.66, cool. I'll write that down. I believe it. From there, bingo. I can now get a pH reading again. And it's close enough to operate. So for I think I got this for like less than $9 on Amazon Black Friday thing. It's backlit. Cool. Less than $9. That's a tool I can use. Even though it's not perfectly precise, it's kind of accurate, right? Good deal. Cool. Time to write it down.